For these videos, I try to wear some Devils merch, show off a couple things in the background. You can't see it because I'm actually filming on my cell phone today, but today I have a shirt on. My name is Lippy. This is the Devils Weekly Roundup. Welcome back, everyone, to episode 2 of my weekly series in which we recap how the Devils did this week, talk about what I liked, talk about what I didn't like, and then we move on with it. Thank you so much to everyone who watched the first episode. Appreciate any feedback that I did get. So let's talk about the 2 games the Devils had. This week, they lost in regulation to the Florida Panthers 4-3, and then they beat the New York Islanders on Friday in a 5-4 OT win. So last week we talked about how the Devils were suffering from slow starts, where basically they just don't seem to get into the game quick enough. And I was texting my friend John, who's a Panthers fan, jokingly saying, "Oh, are the Panthers ready to start 0-3?" Immediately following up with, "You know what? Honestly, the Panthers are hungry for a win. And if the Devils have a slow start like they have, this is going to be a problem." And wouldn't you know it, after the first period, the Panthers were up 2-0. They were hungry to win a game. The Panthers are a very good team. They went to the Stanley Cup Finals, regardless of what you want to think about their team. This is a very good team. And they were hungry to get that first win. And the Devils, being slow, as they have been for their starts, suffered. And it just is what it is. Now, obviously, when you look at it 4-3, looks like it was a close game. Not really, though. From what I've seen, the Panthers were up 4-0 in the third period. And then the Devils were able to score 3 goals to at least make it look like a close game. But the slow starts, once again, hurt the Devils. I can't really speak too much about what I saw because I was at a beer league game, so I wasn't able to see too much. But looking at this, it just looks like it was a classic case of what we've seen with the Red Wings and with the Arizona Coyotes, with, unfortunately, the Devils not able to get any sort of points. So they were 1-1-1 in the season after that game. Now, let's talk about the Islanders game that happened on Friday. This team looked a lot better. They had a much better start. I believe we ended the first period. It was 1-1. The Devils' power play, which has been probably the most consistent with this team to begin the season, had 4 power play goals on Friday. So it's very nice to see that the power play is producing. It's very nice to see that that's doing very well. But then obviously they let up 4, including that 4th goal being a under a minute left goal to tie the game to send it in an OT. Luckily, the Devils have Jack Hughes, who was able to end it in overtime, and the Devils escaped the Long Island with that second point. So let's talk about some pros and cons that we have seen through the first couple games. The cons have obviously been the slow starts. Looks like the Islanders was a much better start. Looks like everyone's looking back right there. The other thing is, obviously, that's a little concerning, is the number of goals that the Devils are letting in. And there's a little bit of a grain of salt we can take with this. I think a lot of this is because it's a lot of breakdowns. I don't think it's on the goalies, especially the Islanders game. Maybe there was 1 or 2 goals Schmidt could have had. It was breakdown in plays. It was the Devils just not following their systems, not executing, that led to turnovers or sustained pressure, and the Islanders capitalizing on that. This is expected at the beginning of the season. If we look league-wide, we're seeing a lot of 5-goal, 7-goal games. This is not going to be the case come December. Teams are going to start settling in. We're going to see better defensive play, better team play, and the Devils should be doing that as well. Now, if we're still having games like this in the middle of December, heading into January, then there is probably cause for concern about maybe addressing goaltending, maybe addressing the defense. But I at least think what we can do here as fans is appreciate the fact the team is playing well. The power play looks great. That's amazing. Given the power play struggles the team has had over the past couple of years, it is great to see the power play is clicking. So it's important to remember this team is settling in. Yes, they had a very good preseason. They were undefeated in the preseason. Preseason, you're trying to figure out your roster. The regular season, especially in the beginning, is now figuring out that roster and taking it to settle in and play the system and be the team you want to be. And I think that's what this Devils team is doing. We saw lines that were working in the preseason not work in the regular season. So now we have to adjust with that. What at the end of the day is the Devils just need to play well, which they are doing. They're scoring goals, which is great. The goaltending will be there. The goaltending actually has been very good. Vitek and Akira have been both amazing. The defense has been okay. They've had their moments where they've been good. They've had their moments when they've been bad. And I think that's probably maybe where the team needs to button up a little bit. But overall, I think we should be happy with where the team is at. Now, obviously, the main concern the Devils have is Nico Hischier is potentially injured. So we need to hope that the injury isn't too long. But what's nice is at least the Devils have been stepping up. McLeod stepped up. Lazar stepped up. They have that depth that at least allows them to cover short term if a player like Nico goes down. But long term, obviously, the Devils need to be concerned about that. But overall, I feel like the Devils have been playing very well. I think we should be very happy with this effort. And just know, the games are going to get tighter. They're going to get better. Play is going to clean up. As long as the power play keeps producing, then the 5-on-5 goals will come soon after. Now, as we look forward into this week, the Devils actually have 3 games. On Tuesday, they will be in Montreal taking on the Canadiens. And then Wednesday, they will be facing the Capitals. And then Friday, they have the Buffalo Sabres. So they have 2 teams that are trying to maybe prove something this year. And then they have the Washington Capitals. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see. Hopefully, Nico feels very well. And yeah, that's pretty much what my thoughts are for this week of games. Hopefully the starts are faster. Hopefully 5-on-5 goals start coming in, and hopefully Nico is okay. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. If you'd like to, you can follow me on my socials. Really appreciate that. And hopefully next week I'll have another episode of this. So my name is Lippy. This was the Devils Weekend Roundup. I'll see you next week.